welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a 20,000 mile review on my 2018 Ram 2500. Now, the majority of my content is on the Ram 2500. So I've done some things on the channel, you know, wheel and tire changes and oil changes and stuff like that. But today I want to talk about, I've had this truck for 2.5 years. I bought it brand new in 2018, October, so late 2018, when the 2019s were getting ready to roll in. And I want to talk about, is it worth it? I want to talk about, is it worth having such a large truck if you're not going to use it for work? Your hot shots use them for towing across country, and got other guys that use these trucks for work. So I know this term is overused, weekend warrior, but let's call it what it is. I'm a weekend warrior. This truck I bought for hauling fifth wheels and boats and trailers loaded with four-wheelers and camping gear and weekend warrior type stuff. I know a lot of you are out there like me. We don't use it for work, we use it for pleasure. Some don't tow, some do, some are intermittent, and some use it for work. So when I say, is it worth it? I want to know, I want to talk about, is it worth it for somebody like me? Somebody who doesn't absolutely 100% need it, but bought it so that I have the option to use it for whatever I needed to use it for. Okay, I bought this truck, it had 12 miles on it. And when I bought it, I didn't intend on doing wheels and tires. I didn't plan on doing any changes to the truck that was going to affect drivability or operability or anything like that. But me, I have a hard time keeping anything stock. So before 2018, I had never bought a brand new truck ever. I typically drove old cars, a 1970 Chevelle that I built, 1965 Chevy C10 that I built from the ground up, a 1966 and a 1974, which I still have, square body, and a couple others that I don't have pictures of, Blazers and 80s Camaros. So I've never owned anything that was brand new. So a couple things I want to talk about was some of the things that I looked out for, some of the things that I didn't look out for, some things I wish I would do different, some things I would do the same. So let's jump in the video and let's get into some of these topics. For those of you that have seen the channel before, I have a Moto Metal 962 20x10 with a -24 offset on the truck, wrapped in a Nitto Ridge Grappler 295 60/20. So I didn't want too aggressive of a stance. In other words, I didn't want the wheels sticking out too far. So the -24 offset gave me just the right amount of stance that I like on the truck. So if we take a step back and we kind of just look at the back of the truck, the tires stick out just a little bit past the fender flares, and that's just the right amount for me, especially just being that I leveled the truck. Which brings me into the next thing that I did. The next thing I did to the truck was that I leveled it. So I went with a BDS leveling kit. I went with the, I guess the puck is what they call it, and the Bilstein 5200s, I believe. So the truck rides great. The Bilsteins are really great. The truck, you know, I was kind of concerned not going with like a Carly or a Thurin leveling kit. I was a little concerned that the ride quality was going to be different or terrible, or just not as good, but the ride quality is actually still pretty great. The Bilsteins really do a really good job of keeping the truck riding smooth, taking bumps and heels and stuff pretty great. I know that it's not a greater ride as a more quality leveling kit, but in the future, you know, maybe a couple years down the road, I plan on lifting the truck a little bit, maybe 3 inches, 4 inches max. And when I do that, then I'll really spend the money and get myself a Carly or Thurin lift and adjustable track bar and the whole works. For now, this works for me. The next thing I did was big thing I did was I put the Banks Pedal Monster on my truck. If you saw my last video, I did a review on the Pedal Monster and I love it. For those of you that don't have it, you should really look into getting it. If you have a 6.7 Cummins, check out my last video. I did a full-on review. I had it hooked up and on the road tested, and you'll see that this thing really makes a difference. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I have a pretty cool announcement at the end of the video about things that's going to be coming this spring. Super excited, super unexpected, but really excited to get the content on the channel. So stay tuned and I'll fill you guys in now at the end. So one of the things that I want to talk about on the truck that I wish I would have done is I wish I would have got a mega cab. So for those of you with mega cabs, you know, most of you guys love them. They look good. They're great looking trucks. And when I went to buy my truck, there wasn't a lot of mega cabs in stock, and I should have been smart and waited till I found the one I wanted. But this one came out, this was like one of the last ones they had, and I really liked the truck. It was clean, it looked good, and so I went with it. But I wish I would have waited and been more patient and found me a mega cab, because the mega cab is such a clean, smooth looking, slick truck. So that's one of the things I wish I would have done. You know, it would afford it, you know, with the kids and everything, it affords more room in the back. When I've gone hunting, you would think, you know, I got plenty of room in this thing to load all the stuff in, and you know what, the back seat's just packed with a bunch of stuff. So I wish I had a little bit more room. And then for the aesthetic reasons of just having that mega cab, they're so sweet. So the next thing I want to talk about that I wish I would have done different is I wish I would have got a different color. Now, for those of us out there that own black trucks, when you clean them up, they glisten and they look so good. This truck gets a lot of compliments, it gets a lot of attention, but it is so hard to keep clean, especially here in the Southwest. If you can spend 2 hours cleaning all this real estate and getting it shining and looking pretty, and 20 minutes later you get a gust of wind come through and it just dusts up your truck. I mean, you walk up to it and you could just see a layer of dust across it, and you know, and you just feel like you just wasted your time, or you're just kind of disappointed. I had a silver Ram 1500 before this, and that thing, I would go maybe a couple weeks without washing it from time to time, not all the time, but from time to time, and you couldn't even tell it was dirty till you walked right up on the truck. Silver was such a great color, and although I love the black and it looks so clean and slick, I wish I would have went with maybe a gunmetal gray, a silver. Ram has a red color. I forget the name of the red color, but it's such a good looking red color. There's about 3 or 4 colors I wish I would have went with instead of the black, but you know, it is what it is. I got the black, and I just stay on top of this truck all the time, washing it, keeping it clean, and just because I appreciate, like a lot of you out there, a clean vehicle to ride in, especially when you pay a lot of money on these trucks. The next thing I would have done differently, and I'm happy with my 2500, but I wish I would have went with the 3500 with the Aisin transmission. So my 68 in this truck, it's got 20,000 miles. I've towed with it. I've towed up to 15,000 pounds with it. I've towed lightweights. I mean, the 68 RFE transmission in this truck has done really well for me so far. It's got 20,000 miles, so it doesn't have a lot of highway miles with a bunch of weight on it. I've taken it hunting. I've climbed mountains. I've climbed up big hills with weight, downhill with weight. I mean, the 68 in this truck has done really well so far. Now, I know there's a lot of things I can do, you know, to the 68 that would make it perform better and last longer, and I intend to do that shortly here in the future. But I wish that I would have got the 3500 with the Aisin, so that I didn't have that worry of a transmission that could potentially go out on me you know, while I'm towing with my family and I'm headed camping. So I'm a little, I wish I would have gone that route. So far so good in this truck, but I just wish I would have made that decision at the dealership. So that's some of the things that I wish I would have done differently about the truck. So I want to talk about some of the things that I really like about the truck. So this truck came with the 4-link suspension, and this thing, even though I got the wheels and tires on it, still rides so smooth. It takes bumps well. It still rides like a truck. Let's call it what it is, but it rides a heck of a lot smoother than my 2004 Ram 1500 SLT, you know, gas motored Hemi truck. That thing rode like a lumber truck. I mean, that thing was bouncing all over the road. That thing didn't take bumps well. I mean, it just, you know, it was a truck. This truck rides so smooth. When it had the stock wheels on it, it rode like a Cadillac. I mean, you couldn't feel or hear anything. Now that I got the aftermarkets on it, it still rides smooth. You can still feel a little more of the road, but it still rides so smooth. Another thing I really like about this truck is the fact that it came with the 7-pin connector on the inside of the bed. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, wasn't that standard like on all modern trucks? No, it's not. I got a buddy of mine with the same trim level truck as mine, but he doesn't have the 7-pin in the back, it's underneath. So he has to either run his 5th wheel cable over his bumper and down to the 7-pin, or he's gonna have to eventually upgrade and just manually install one of these 7 pins on the inside of the bed. For those of you that tow and don't have the 7-pin in the inside of the bed, it's a pain in the butt running your cable over to, you know, your 7-pin down by the hitch. It's kind of, you know, it's doable, people do it, it's just kind of an inconvenience. The next thing is that this truck, and a lot of them come with it, not all of them, but a lot of them come with the 5th wheel and gooseneck holes already in place. So I don't need to buy rails or anything for it. Everything is there. I just need to buy the hitch, set it in, bolt it down, and she's ready to go. Same with the ball. And that's a really nice, convenient feature. It's got the caps on it, so you don't have holes there all the time, but it's a really convenient feature to have when you are towing 5th wheel and or gooseneck. So that's really nice thing that I like about the truck. The next thing I really like about the truck, and we're going to direct your attention up to the 3rd brake light up top, is the fact that it has really bright lights up there. So if you turn it on, it lights up quite a bit. But more importantly, the cargo camera. The cargo camera is important for when you're backing up a 5th wheel into your hitch. It kind of guides you in. It kind of saves you a lot of the jumping in and out of the truck when you're doing it by yourself, or relying on the old ball and chain to back you up. I don't know if you guys have had horror stories with that. I've seen a lot of slow down, stop, yelling at each other. It's a whole thing, you know. It kind of avoids that. You can do it by yourself, or it makes it easier to do it by yourself. Another thing I like about the truck, and most trucks come with it, again, not all of them, are the cab lights. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of guys that have taken them off because they don't like the way it looks, and hey, to each their own. Each, you know, whatever, it's your truck, and you can have your truck that however you want to. For me, I really like that my truck came with the cab lights, and to be honest with you guys, that was not something that I even knew to look for when I bought this truck. So after I bought it, I knew they were there, but I didn't realize that a lot of trucks don't come with them. And I'm really glad that even though I wasn't paying attention to that particular feature, that it did come on my truck. So I'm really happy that I have the cab lights. It looks good. Okay guys, so that covers some of the things that I like and I dislike about my truck. So one topic I want to talk about now, that's kind of the debate for the ages amongst Cummins guys. We give each other a lot of flack about it, and we get a lot of flack about it from you know, your Power Stroke guys and your Duramax guys, and it's something that, you know, I wish Ram would remanufacture and figure out, but it is what it is. So without further ado, tow mirrors, up or down? Right, this is something that we as Cummins guys And Ram 2500 guys, we give each other so much flack and such a hard time with each other about the mirrors up, mirrors down. And you know, when I bought the truck, I left them up for 3 months, then I put them down for 3 months, then they went back up for another couple months, and then I put them down. And I just wanted to see, do I like the look up or down? Like, what do I like here? Immediately the day I bought the truck, everyone's like, dude, the truck is really nice, like, congratulations, put the damn mirrors down. And I'm like, no, I like it up, you know. And then, do I like it up? So it took about a year for me to kind of settle into my own. And the end result was, when the mirrors are up, you know, in tow mode, ghost trailer mode, as a lot of people call it, you can see everything. It's amazing to me how Ram hasn't come out with a mirror that's vertical at all times, because the convex mirror and the big mirror, you can see everything behind you, and wide and around. And it's like, it's so nice to have the mirrors up, because even when you don't have a trailer, you just have a broader view of everything. Well, I finally came to the realization that I'm not a big fan of riding with them up. I like the look of the truck. It's a little more sleek with them down. So that was the end result that I kind of came to. That was what I came to, and I know a lot of guys feel differently. I see a lot of guys out there with their mirrors up, and more power to you. If you want to ride with your mirrors up, I say do it. Ride with them up. It's so you could see better. It's the functionality, the operability, everything is just better with the mirrors up in these trucks. You know, there's such a bad stigma about, you know, guys riding with their mirrors up. And we catch the Cummins guys, we give each other the hardest time. You know what I mean? Like, we bust each other's chops all the time about our mirrors. But in reality, it's your truck. You do with it what you want to do, and you're paying the note. So you just go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do. No hate from me. And I hope we, as Cummins guys, we can all get along and just agree to disagree. So thank you guys for hanging in the video this long. I know this video has a lot of talking in it. Again, I just wanted to kind of go over the 20,000 mile review of my truck and just kind of cover some things. So one of the main questions I asked at the beginning of the video was, is it worth it? To sum it all up, absolutely. It is absolutely worth it for me to have this truck. I love this truck. I love the power that it has, the fuel mileage that it has. The fuel mileage is better in this than it was in my 5.7 Hemi 1500 before I had this. If I had something tied up to it, we're at 10 miles to the gallon, 9 miles to the gallon. It was a workhorse, a lot of power, but it just used gas like crazy. I mean, that truck passed everything but a gas station, as the old saying goes. Fuel, and I love it. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it worth the payment every month? Absolutely. I love this truck, and I intend to keep this truck for a long time. So if you're on the fence about whether or not you should buy a diesel, whether it's Cummins, Power Stroke, Duramax, and you're just like, do I need a truck that big? Do I, you know, what's my reasoning behind it? Like, I don't know if I want to spend the money. You know what? Most of us who own these trucks don't need a truck this size, most of us. But it allows for more options whenever you're looking to tow. You're not stuck like in the 1500 range of tow weight capacity and braking capacity. Okay guys, so now for the announcement that I wanted to talk about. First thing is, if you saw my last video on my channel when I did a review on the Banks Pedal Monster, Banks reached out to me, and I don't want to give it away just yet, but we're gonna be having something really cool going down probably this spring. And I'm super pumped and super excited. It was unexpected, but I am so thrilled. That's gonna be coming this spring. Subscribe if you want to hang around and check it out. The video should be coming out again springtime, a little bit of ways down. We still do have some more videos coming out with this. We're doing some more things. So the next thing I wanted to run past you guys, especially those who are subscribed. Earlier I mentioned that I had a 74 square body Chevy pickup, and it's not a vehicle that I'm ever going to give away. My grandfather bought it new in '73, and he gave it to me back in 2002, and I drove it around for a long time. and then the rear main seal started leaking on it, and the transmission was leaking and slipping, and it needed some heavier, so it needed some work that I just wasn't able to do, both financially and physically at the time. Didn't have the right tools, didn't have the the right amount of money to be able to restore it, so I parked it. But I just want to know, is that something you guys want to see on the channel? Do you guys want to see a 74 square body restored on the channel? If so, just let me know in the comments, yes, no. And I want to know, do you guys love your trucks? Do you guys think it's worth it? Do you use it for work or play? What do you use your diesel truck for? Is it a pavement princess, which is all good? Because people make fun of me about this thing all the time, even though I take it off road and hunting and fishing and camping, yada yada. They're always making fun of me, calling it a pavement princess, and that's all right. So is your truck a pavement princess? Does it not see the off-road? Like, let me know in the comments. Do you guys think it's worth it? Do you guys love your trucks? Are you looking to change brands? Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the video. Let me know your guys' opinion on everything, on anything I said in the video. Just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for sticking with me, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.